I can't. Okay. That's a little annoying. Alright. I'm gonna wait for some people to come in. I'm gonna get the rods ready. I think we might start with the spinning rods first. Just cause, you know. Swing those over there. Alright, we'll start with the spinning rods. We'll start with the... Okay, this rod's kind of in the way. How do I move this? Let's try it like that. Okay. So for ultralight fishing for 2025, I just have one rod. I might try getting a BFS reel, but for now, little spinning rod. I think it's got like 10-pound braid on there. I think it just has a little Ned rig. Yeah, a little micro Ned rig on there for panfish right now. Hopefully the audio is good because I think the mic is on the back side, but who knows. Put that back on there. But yeah, little reel, nothing crazy. I hope I turn this to public. Anyways, this is for the ultralight. It's a little 5'6". I don't know what else it is. 5'6" ultralight, 10-pound braid. It's good for ultralight fishing. That one's out of the way. Throw it back. All right, we'll start with the next lightest rod. That'll be this. This is just something I have that I threw on. This is a Reel Stratic, Shimano Stratic. Sun, I don't know how good the sun's picking it up, but yeah. What gear ratio is this? It's a C3000. Love how it tells me everything. It doesn't tell me what it is. Anyways, I think it's like a 5-gear ratio or something like that. Something slower. Then we got a rod. We're not going to talk about the rod though, because I don't want to be associated with it, but just a cheap rod I slapped it on. It does the trick. Next setup here, we just have a, oh wow, the line's getting everywhere. We have a Shimano Stratic. This is an FL, one of the newer versions. 250. It's not high gear because this is a different spool for it. I think it's a 5-gear ratio too. I like 5-gear ratios for my spinning reels. Nice and slow, perfect for me. And then for the rod, we have a Fate Black by 13 Fishing. The sun's probably glaring on it a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, this is a medium. I think it's medium moderate. Don't really tell me what it is. Where is it? It's a fast, yeah, medium power fast. Yeah. Got 20-pound braid on here with a no leader. Oh, there goes my GoPro. Tried doing the live stream on the GoPro, but it wouldn't work. All right, now we're gonna move on to Baitcasters. We're gonna start from the cheapest and work our way up. Oh, okay. We have a little 7-foot medium heavy. This is like a cheap Walmart rod. I think I got it for like 20 bucks on sale. Hello, Sabina, if I said that right. Hello, chill guy. I have no idea if I'm a chill guy. That's a good question. I do not cuss. No, I am very clean. I try to be anyways. Anyways, this is our cheapest little Baitcaster. It's got a little Lose Hank. This is a Hack Attack. Anyways, good little reel. It's cheap. It's got a spinner bait on here. This is one of my favorite spinner baits. It's cheap. I love them. It's a Peppers Custom. Cheap, and they work amazingly. Swimbait or worms. I usually like lures, but I do like plastic worms, you know, for bass. Those are usually fun. But I do have a Swimbait rod, so that'll be coming up. Nice little rig. But anyways, medium heavy. What is this? It's fast action, 7-foot, pretty nice. Nice little reel. I think I paid like 75 bucks on eBay for it. It's a good steal. I like loose reels because they cast really nicely, but the graphite can fail over time. All right, what's next? What's the next cheapest? Maybe this other lose. We'll just start with the lose and work our way up. So this is my jig rod. This is probably my favorite rod because I love throwing jigs. I have a little flipping jig on here right now. Nothing crazy. Not really caught anything much this year. I fished around, got a couple bites. Nothing crazy though. But yeah, it's a medium heavy. What is it? 7'3". Let me look. 7'3", moderate fast action. Pretty good rod. They have it for a, they call it a Magnum jig. Down here it tells you all the stuff you can use it for. I don't really listen to that. But my favorite fish I have got, ooh, that'll probably have to be, I think it's like 5-pounder. It's gonna be dropping soon in a new video from last year actually, from one of my little lakes I like to fish. It was a pretty fun little fight. And it was a pretty fun day too. The vets were like coming out of the water and grabbing the bait at the bank. It was amazing. Anyways, this one, it's got a Lose Mach 1 on it, and then it's got a Lose Custom Light. It's a pretty nice little reel. It's one of my favorite reels. It's like $120, I think, brand new or something like that. I have upgraded the handles to like the Laser XTS or something like that. Handles, nice little grips, nice and comfortable. Yeah, it's a good reel. Casts really good. You can get the bait right where you want it. My only downside is it's graphite, so it's gonna crack. I've had many of my loose reels crack because they're made out of graphite, but in total, I think I got the rod on sale for like 100 on Tackle Warehouse, and the reel actually I got for free, so it was a pretty cheap combo here. But normally I think it's around $250, something like that, maybe $260. Not terribly expensive. It's a good jig rod. Really good. I enjoy it a lot. All right, and then let's see here. We're gonna move on to the Swimbait rocks. I think that's the next cheapest. Can I give you a shout out? Your new Ezra Schratz. I don't know who he is, but he wants a shout out, so go check him out. This is the Swimbait rod. Got a little mag drift on there right now. We got a Dobbins Fury. This is a, let me look. Yeah, 7.9, medium heavy. Action is fast. It's a pretty light rod, but you know, for mag drafts and little glide baits, it's pretty nice. Got a little Genpyu. This is like a Japan version of some sort of a reel. Like it's more for jigging, for big fish in the ocean. So it has no like brakes on the side here. Let me show you what I mean by this. Whoa! Don't want to drop that. It's got It's got no magnets on the side. It's no internal brakes, no brakes on the spool. It's all just a little thumb dial and your thumb controlling it, which isn't great for casting. It's meant more for, you know, jigging, but you know, that's fine. Gave rod or fave rod? Probably the last one I showed. That's probably one of my favorite. Little jig rod right here. It's a pretty nice little reel. I've caught a lot of fish on that. I love fishing jigs. They are so fun to fish. Anyways, yes, this is a little like $100 reel on eBay, brand new from Japan. It's a nice reel. It's good. Dobbins rod you get on sale for like $100 on Tackle Warehouse if you get lucky. Otherwise, I think it's like 140, something like that. And then we just got a mag draft on here with a simple line through rigging mechanism. It's pretty good. It works pretty good actually. Caught quite a few fish on it. It's a good rod, you know. It's got the nice long swim bait handle. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's nice. I caught quite a few good fish on this, so gets the job done. My book down here is getting wet. I need to move that out of the way. All right, let's see. What's next? We'll just move to another heavy rod. How about that? This is a flippin' and pitching rod, or a topwater frog rod. It's a bit heavy for topwater frogs, but it gets me by because I don't have a dedicated one for that yet, just because I don't fish topwater frogs too terribly often, but occasionally I do. Got 40-pound braid on here. Pretty light actually for flipping, but you know, that's what I like for around here in Oregon because it's pretty light vegetation. So we got a Shimano SLX 70 DC. Yeah, 70 DC. It's not XT or anything, just like the older Japan version of the SLX DC. Nice reel, pretty shallow spool, casts pretty good. It's got a nice, instead of like, so the American version of this reel is like a plastic graphite side panel, and it just feels cheap and chintzy. This has a nice, I think it's painted graphite. I don't think it's quite metal. I don't think it's too that expensive, but I think the aired price was like $210, something like that. But you can get them for as cheap as like 100-something bucks now on eBay. But pretty nice little reel. The rod, we have a Temple Fork Outfitter rod. Tactical Elite Bass 7.6, extra heavy. It's a pretty heavy little thing. It's a moderate. You can, it says the rating is like 1/2 ounce to 2 ounce baits. I don't listen to that. I've thrown some like 3 ounce baits on it. It's fine though, as long as you take it slow. It's a good combo. Right now we have a little 3/8 ounce with a little punch rig there just for flipping, just because there's no grass mounts this time of year. There's a few, but nothing crazy. But yeah, let's get hang up on my other rods here. Move out of the way. Yeah, it's a nice little swim bait right there, or not swim bait. I'm still stuck on the other combo. It's a nice little rig here. I enjoyed it. I've used it quite a bit. It's nice. It's got a decently long handle. Nothing crazy though. It's got like the wind grip on it, but it's in a darker color, so it won't like turn nasty, and it's not bright, so it burns your eyes when you look at it. But you know, gets the job done. It's good. Nice skiff rod. Alright, let's see here. What is next? Probably my medium heavy rod. So this is a Shimano combo here. It's not really a combo, just one I made, but we have a Shimano Intenza right there. Probably kind of bright, and it's kind of backwards too. Flip it over. You probably can't see it, but anyways, Shimano Intenza. I think I had it first the right time. It was better this way. We got a Shimano Corrado on there. This is a 6-gear ratio. It's a slower geared version. Just because, you know, I like a slower gear ratio because they tend to be smoother and the gears tend to last longer, from my experience. And then the rod, it's a medium. It's medium heavy. It's 7'2". Let's see, is it a moderate or fast? Action's fast. Thought it was moderate, but apparently it's not. Pretty good little rig here. Gotten some good fish on it. I usually use this rig for, you know, like 1/2 ounce chatterbaits, 3 ounce chatterbaits, jackhammers. I'll use it for light swim baits, like a 6-inch mag draft sometimes. You know, it's sort of the all-around rig. That's usually the one I'll take when I just want to take one rod and just kind of beat the bank. It's a pretty good little combo, but I mean, needs new line as it does, because it's, you know, getting into season here, even though the fish have been active in certain spots here in Oregon. But yeah, got I think 9-pound drag or 11-pound drag. It's good enough around here. I've used it in salt water. It doesn't have like gaskets to keep the salt water out, but you know, it's fine. Clean it off. It's been a couple years now. It's going fine. Still smooth, no grinding feeling. I need to clean. It's kind of dirty. Just oil it here and there though, and it's been pretty good. Nice little rig there. Alrighty, let's see here. I think we'll save one of the better ones for last. So in this rig we have a Shimano Scorpion DC. This is a pretty good reel. I'm not a huge fan of it just because it has a smaller handle because it's the Japan version. But it's not terrible. It's smooth. It casts pretty good. I think it's a 7-gear ratio. Yep, 7-4 gear ratio. Nice little reel. I usually don't use this one much. It's sort of my backup combo. That's why it's on one of these rods that I bought to try out. For the price, not very good. I mean, they're really light, the Guggen ones, but I wouldn't really recommend them. I don't like to promote them or use them on my channel and view too often. I need to tape this one up just because, you know, certain reasons. But it's a light combo. The reel is, the balance point on it is, I think, right in there. Yeah. So I mean, that's, you don't feel the rod at all when you hold it like this. But I've used this rig for like Mini-Max chatterbaits from Seaman. I've used it for waggy rigs. It's just a medium rod. I've used it for jerkbaits, stuff like that. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't use it for lipless unless it's like a, I don't know, 3/8 ounce lipless or 1/4 ounce lipless. Pretty small lipless. I mean, you could cast heavier bait on it. It's just the bending action on the tip, because it has a really soft tip, it doesn't do much. Like if you get snagged in grass and you try to rip it out, it doesn't do very good. The grass is usually still on there. But yeah, nice little combo. I don't use this reel too terribly often. I'm being blinded by the sun, but you know, it's a good little rig. Caught quite a few fish on it. I enjoy it. All right, and we've saved the best for last. This is gonna be a really short stream. I might just do a bit of a talk. Probably should have done this and then gone fishing afterwards with all of them. Maybe I'll do that Sunday. Definitely going fishing Sunday though. Another Intenza rod. I got a good deal on these, like $75 on Amazon. This is one of the newer ones with the cork handles. Pretty good. I wouldn't pay like $150 for them brand new, just because they're pretty heavy for $150 of a rod. But 74 bucks, they're pretty good. I mean, you can't really beat it. This is a medium, I think. Yeah, 7'2" medium, basically the same as the last rod, just heavier. You know, Shimano rods are really only good if you pay for the money for the more expensive ones. The cheaper ones, yeah, they're iffy. I'd rather go with like a Dobbins or something, you know, a little bit better for budget friendly. Let's see here. This is a, yeah, Action Fast. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, got a little Mini-Max on here. That's what I usually throw on these. Nice little rig. And then for the reel, we got a Shimano Metanium. This is the 2015 version, not the newest version. I personally don't like the newer version. I like the older version still, just because of the way it feels in my hand and fits. The newer version's not bad. It's just I got kind of big thumbs, so the smaller spool doesn't really quite fit my finger very well. The bigger spool's a lot better in my opinion. It's slightly bigger, nothing crazy, just a little bit. But yeah, nice little reel right there. It's a smaller handled one. It's not the XG. This is a 6 gear ratio or 7. I don't know where you find it on here. It's a high gear, so yeah, it's a 7 gear ratio. It's a nice little reel. I enjoy it. I didn't buy it brand new. I wouldn't pay $500 for a brand new reel like this. I think I paid like $220 for it. It's a pretty good reel when you buy it used. I mean, as long as you get your good deal. I bought it. It had a little bit of scuffing on the edge, but nothing crazy. And the gears, perfect. DC mechanism, a little bit old, still works fine. Yeah, I've had it for about 2 years now when I bought it used, and it still feels the same as when I bought it used. It hasn't really changed much at all. So, I think it was a good investment. I enjoyed it. It's a pretty good little rod. Alright. I think we should probably... I've got a bunch of other rods and reels that I don't really use that much. They're more of like backups. I got a couple more loose reels, a couple more Shimano's. But a lot of those are like the ones I let my friends use when I go fishing with them, the ones that don't know how to fish, you know. Some of my friends, though, that know how to fish, I'll let them use whatever they want. I don't care. But, yeah, I enjoy them. They're fun. Gets the job done. I got a couple fly rods. I do fly fishing. I didn't want to really take them out of their cases and put them together because there's a 9-foot rod running around and there's trees behind me and it's just a mess. I didn't want to get everything all tangled. But we're probably going to start from the beginning again, just because it's only been 17 minutes. I don't think it would take us that quickly to do this many. I definitely should have done this on a Sunday and then gone fishing afterwards, because that probably would have been a little bit more entertaining. But we'll definitely go fishing Sunday, probably multi-species fishing for like panfish. I might do a bit of bass fishing too, but a little ultralight combo. Simple, got like 10-pound line on there, nothing crazy. Pretty good. This is a 5'6". This is a Lew's combo. It's like a cheap $30 combo at Walmart. It's pretty cheap. It's what do they call this? Light speed. LS75 reel. The rod is also a light speed. A little Walmart special. It's probably backwards, but you know, it's a good little rod for ultralight fishing. I enjoy it. Right now I have a little Ned rig on there with a little. This is a Fires bait. It's actually a new bait they sell at Walmart, but it's a Laztec, which I thought was cool. I think they're more for like trout, but I'm using it for panfishes because all the rivers where trout are closed around me. All right, next we'll move on to this one. I'm not gonna really talk about the rod that much. I'm just gonna keep going around in a circle, but you know, got a Shimano Stratic. This is 2016 CI4. I think that's what they usually call it. 7 gear ratio. It needs to be clean. It's got mud all over from my last excursion. But you know, this is one of my favorite spinning reels of all time. My friend and my friend's dad always uses them. You know, and I finally bit the bullet. I finally bought one. Used on eBay, pretty cheap. I think like $150 I paid, or $140 I paid for this. It's gotten pretty dusty because I need to clean it, but you know, it's fine. It can withstand a beating. It's making a clicking noise because the line is sticking out right here. If you clean that off though, it's pretty silent. It's pretty nice. Good little reel. The rod is it's a Guggen Squad Gold Series. Nothing crazy. I bought these rods to try them out. They're all right, but for the price, I wouldn't buy them. Like $160 or something. If they're like $110, it'd probably be more accurate. But I mean, overall they're fine. But I don't like to use them much on camera because, you know, I don't really want to be associated with the Guggen Squad because, you know, very certain personal reasons. But this is a 610 medium moderate action rod. Nice little rod. Got the nice little backbone right there. Has a little bit of a flex to it. It's nice, and then has more of a flex right here, and then you know, it's a medium moderate. Not a medium fast, just a medium moderate. It's good for Ned rigs. I usually fish little Ned rigs on it. Occasionally I'll fish something else. It's not quite, you know, don't have enough backbone or hard enough tip to fish harder stuff on it, but drop shots work on it pretty good. I need to get a new rod though for this reel because I don't want to have it on this one. But for now, you know what? For now it works. I don't mind. All right, gotta move everything over a bit here because I've kind of buried them on the ground. But this next combo, we got a cheaper rod with a more expensive reel, or less expensive, I'm not really sure. This is a Stratic FL. Not the newest Stratic, but the, what is it, 2019, I think? I don't know. I bought this a couple years ago. Good little rod, 2500. This is a lower gear, so it's not a high gear. The spool says high gear though, because I had to replace it because it was a shallow spool. You can't cast very far with a shallow spool. I mean, for trout it's fine, but for bass, I prefer the bigger spool. Nice little reel. You know, holds what I need to for line. Then the rod is a 13 Fishing Fate. I think it's like a $60 rod. Or no, wait, it's, yeah, black. Fate black. $60 rod, pretty cheap. Nothing crazy. This is a 7-1 medium moderate, I think, or medium fast. It's a pretty good little rod. I enjoy it. Usually fish slightly bigger spinning baits on it, like a heavier Ned rigs, little like Kitech swim baits. Occasionally I'll throw Ned rigs on, but not terribly often, or mini jigs, like little finesse jigs. I'll fish those on it, little tightrope jigs or something like that. Nice little combo. I enjoy it. I'll fish wacky rigs on it too occasionally. Sometimes a little weedless Texas rig, or weightless, not weedless. Texas is already weedless, but a weightless Texas rig. Pretty nice little combo. I enjoy it. Got I think 20-pound braid on there. It's kind of heavy, but you know, it's fine. But you know, it gets the job done. It's got like 11-pound drag. Drag's pretty good. It's pretty smooth too. The line's hitting stuff, so it's making a ticking noise, but it's pretty quiet. Just you can hear the whirring of the rotation. But I mean, it's a pretty good reel. I enjoy it. Found lots of good bass on it, and trout and everything. So, and of course it's got this nice, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me move it behind the camera. I don't know where the microphone is on this thing. It's got a nice clicking, which for me, I like it. Do I have a smaller setup? This is a pretty small. This is a 2500 gear. It's just really close to the camera. But yeah, I do have a smaller setup. If you're like talking more of ultralight fishing, I got a couple of those. I only have one out here with me. Little ultralight. It's pretty small. This is like a 75, so not even a 1,000 size spool or reel. Yes, exactly. Yes. I would like to get into the bait finesse baitcasters. That's definitely on the agenda. I just haven't bit the bullet yet because I have this thing, like a $30 combo from Walmart. It's pretty good, you know. I'll use it for trout occasionally, but it's a little bit too flimsy for the trout we have around here. They would probably snap it. Well, they wouldn't snap it, but they'd snap the line pretty easily. But yeah, this is a little panfish rod. I'll use it for little bass. It's nice. Little ponds. Probably gonna use it this Sunday when I do a live stream with some panfish, but yeah. And then I have a couple more spinning rods. Got some fly rods, but I don't have those out here with me right now. I didn't want to dig them out just because I'm not using them this time of year right now. All right, let's see here. I'll move up from the medium. Actually, here we'll move from a medium heavy baitcaster. Biggest bass, 5 pounds here in Oregon. Arizona, it's 4.5 roughly, I think, if I remember correctly. And then I don't think I've gone fishing in California for bass, although technically it was Lake Havasu, so it's on the border. Hello Delbert, thanks for coming in. Yeah, it's not very big. I intend to break that this year again, but definitely a possibility with the lake that's got 10-pounders in around here. But anyways, this is a Hank Parker cheap Walmart bait casting rod. Nothing crazy. I just got it for like 20 bucks on sale, so it was a good buy. Then we got a cheap $75 Hank Parker, or I don't know why I keep saying Hank Parker, probably because it's the rod. But this is a Lew's Hack Attack. It was like 6 or 7 pounds in Florida. That's nice. That's nice. Florida is definitely on the bucket list to visit because, you know, it's pretty nice for big bass, but definitely intend to go there some point in the future. But for now, I'm stuck in Oregon. But yeah, I got a spinnerbait on here right now. It's sort of an all-around rod, medium heavy. I think it's a fast. Yeah, fast. I've used it on one fish. It was like under a pound, and then I lost like a 2-pounder on it this year so far. But I just got this year, so pretty cheap little combo, nothing crazy, you know. We're gonna slowly work our way up from the cheaper combos to the more expensive combos. Next is gonna be, this is a Lose, what is this? Custom speed stick. This is a light. It's Magnum jig. I don't know. It was like on sale at Tackle Warehouse for pretty cheap, so you know. Florida strand bass just fight. That is true. That is true. I've heard they fight a lot. I don't know if it was better, but I heard they were a lot more aggressive, which would be fun. I mean, we have some lakes up here with the northern strain, and they're aggressive. They'll chase the lure out of the water onto the bank sometimes. Oh, they're crazy. I got a video dropping with that. And then we got smallmouth. Smallmouth can be pretty aggressive. What is behind me? Something's making a weird noise behind me. I'm gonna get attacked by an animal. Anyways, I would love to see how aggressive it is. I definitely want to add that to the agenda of where I want to go and catch bigger bass. Definitely for this year, but not this year, but different places in Oregon. I'm definitely gonna go and catch some bigger bass. Florida will probably be in like 2 years, maybe 3, depends how work is. But anyways, this is one of my favorite combos because it's a jig rod. I love throwing jigs. I love throwing football jigs. Right now, I have a little flipping jig on here. Got a little bite on this earlier. Nothing crazy. You have never caught a smallmouth, but I hear they are great fighting. Like a 1-pound smallmouth will fight like a 2-pound or 3-pound largemouth. Especially if you catch them in a river, they are even more aggressive in a river. They are amazing to fight. They are great. If you can ever try to catch a smallmouth, I'd definitely recommend it. They are fun. Even the small ones will be fun, especially if it's on a spinning rod, which usually it is. Sometimes it's on a baitcaster, but man, they're fun. Yeah, a little flipping jig. I don't really know what this is. It's some random thing from online. I think I've caught a few fish on. Nothing crazy. I prefer my, probably should have had it on here because it's one of my favorite jigs. I'm waiting for the car to pass so you can hear me. But they're little Bass Patrol football jigs. They're like, I think, a couple bucks on Tackle Warehouse. I don't think they're tungsten. I think they're lead. But they are great. Like, I rarely get snagged. I mean, with any football jig, even like Dobbins or even more expensive ones, they tend not to get snagged as easily because they got the football jig head on them. But I prefer the Bass Patrol over the Dobbins because they're cheaper. Not like $9 or $7. They're only like $2. They are great. If you match them with some sort of a craw trailer, or even just the back of a Senko. Oh, they're amazing. I've caught lots of good fish on them. They're just great to bounce them up and down. That's what I've had the best luck with. But by far my favorite combo. It's got a little Lose Mach 1 on here. I got this free on an eBay order. They sent it to me. I don't know why. I messaged them and I never heard back from them. So, free reel. I think normally it was like $100, but I could probably get it on eBay for like 70. Great reel. I've got 2 of these. One of them is more of a rundown reel because it's getting old. Some parts of it are breaking because it's made out of graphite, so it tends to break down quicker than more of Shimano reels because, you know, they're made out of more metal. But great reel. They cast far. I love Lose, but they just don't stand the test of time. So if I'm going to spend like, you know, 100, I mean, they make more expensive ones, but you know, their gears aren't very good. They're still made out of plastic a lot of the time. I've had a lot of the gears break inside of them. So, but I mean, if they do break, you can buy like a cheap Abu Garcia and get the gears out of that and put them back in there, and they work fine. I've done that many times too. Yeah, I've got a few other Lose reels. They're more backups. You know, I like this one personally. It's cheap, casts great. It's got all the brake systems I need. It's got the little side dial for the magnetic brakes. Got the thumb thing. It's got the clicking thing in it, which isn't really necessary. Clicking the drag star, and then it's got some more. If this thing would come off, it's pretty stiff. It's got more of those in there. So I usually leave 2 of those on, and I leave the magnetic brakes on like 3.5. And then the side suspension knob, I usually have it to where there's no wobble in the spool, so it's pretty loose. And then after that, I use my thumb to break it, and it's nice. I can cast as far as I want usually with it. Get it right up and wherever I want it. You can skip pretty good. It's nice. Alright, what's next? We'll do the Swimbait rod next. This is a Swimbait rod. Dobbins Fury. This is a 7'9" medium, heavy, fast. It's good for little mag drafts or any type of a little bigger soft plastic line through, or even pre-rigged. I prefer buying the ones that you can rig yourself though, because you can just get it like an 8/0 beast hook, or sometimes even like 12/0 beast hook, depends on the size of bait you're using. And then you got a nice little line through rig with the weight, the swivel, and the treble hook here. I think this is like a size 3 or 4 treble hook, or 4-rod or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I got this stuff. But yeah, I like using line through swim baits. I've caught quite a few big fish on them. They're great. They bite the hook. You set the hook. The thing goes up and down. They can't throw it out. It's nice. The only downside is the treble hook. So if you hook them to the gills, like get a couple hooks in there, it's a little painful to get out. But it's a bigger hook, so it's not like a little jerkbait hooks. Jerkbait hooks are immensely painful to pull out of a fish. This guy is pretty easy. You can usually do it with just your fingers without having to have a pliers, but usually the bigger fish you use, so you don't have to worry about the smaller fish thrashing around. So yeah, it makes it easy. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, the reel. I forgot to talk about the reel. It's a cheap $100 Shimano Genpu. I think that means like new gen or something. It's meant for jigging saltwater fish in Japan, but I'm using it for throwing swim baits because it was cheap. Definitely gonna probably upgrade it this year because I love throwing swim baits. I got a couple heavier rods. Gonna get something new on it, but the most expensive thing about this reel is probably the handle. It's the only good value out of it, really. It's got no internal brakes besides the little thumb dial here. You'll control it with your thumb. I got 20-pound fluoro on here. I mean, that's really it. It's a pretty simple reel. Gets the job done. I think it's got like the body of the old Casitas or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty comfortable, low profile. It's a 200 size spool, so you can hold quite a bit in there. It's nice. Fits in the hand nicely, especially since this swim bait rod is a little bit heavier. I wanted a lighter reel for it because, you know, I like to be able to feel the weight. And even then, this reel is pretty heavy because it's on the cheaper side. So the balance is still like right in here. So the rod isn't terribly, but you know, I like a nice weighty rod sometimes, especially for throwing bigger baits. Because, you know, not quite with this hook. This hook I don't like this big of a rod for it, but you know, it's fine. You just kind of lean into it. You don't have to really set the hook. But if you're using like a 8/0 beast hook or a 12/0 beast hook, I usually tend to like to swing pretty hard. So yeah, I like this rod for that. It's got quite a bit of power in it, enough like limberness and to it that it tends to keep the fish pinned pretty good, no matter what type of bait you're using or hook. So yeah, nice little rig here. Recommend the Dobbins rod. It's like 120 bucks. I think you can get it as cheap as like 80 or. What's that noise again? Something's here. Something's watching me. I swear. Like, I don't know, the bushes over there. Anyways, the rod. Would recommend it if you get on sale at Tackle Warehouse. It's even greater of a deal. Regardless, though, it's a good rod. I'd recommend it for swim baits or even the cheaper versions that are meant for like medium heavies and mediums. Great rods. Not too heavy, not too light. Kind of right in the sweet spot. My favorite. Not too perfect, but not too bad either. Right in the middle. All right, let's see here. What's next? We will do this. This is a Shimano Intenza rod. A little cheap rod. I wouldn't buy it brand new, like for 150. And in my opinion, that's not a great buy. But if you get it when it's on sale, or in my case, I got it on sale like some eBay seller, some sketchy person. I think I paid $75 or $74 for it, which is a pretty good buy. I bought 2 of them. They came intact. It wasn't a scam. So it was a good deal. This was it last year? Yeah, last year. Last January or February sometime. Somewhere around then. Oh wait, no. It was 2 years ago. Technically. I mean, it was December 2023, I think, when I bought them. Yeah, great rods. I've caught quite a few fish on them this year. Or last year, I guess you should say, since we're in 2025. I still can't get my head wrapped around that. I'm still living in 2024. I mean, I can't get the date right. But yeah, it's 2025 now, so last year I caught quite a few fish on this, quite a few big fish. I usually throw like half-ounce jackhammers or chatterbaits or even 3/8 ounce. I don't really throw the mini maxes on here. I mean, if it's a 3/8 ounce mini max or half-ounce mini max, I'll throw it on. Seriously, something keeps making a noise back there and it's scaring me every single time. I don't even know what it is. It's terrifying me. Okay. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought because of whatever's rustling back there in the bushes. Jackhammers, chatterbaits. It's good. Sasquatch. I don't quite think there's a Sasquatch. I would probably see that. Maybe a little baby one. I don't know. But yeah, spinnerbaits, medium heavy. No, it's kind of good for everything. It's a 7'2". I like a 7 foot, but 7'2". It's fine. It does the job. It's perfect. But it's got a nice little bendy tip to it. It has a pretty strong backbone. Barely any flex to it. And a nice bit of flex right there. So nice little rod. I have yet to know how durable it is. I have yet to squish it in a door and see it live. I haven't had many things live through squishing it through a door. I've had a few rods though. I don't remember which ones they were because it was a long time ago. Yeah, it's a solid reel. Gets the job done. I've had it for a couple years now. Got a few scratches on it. Still smooth. It's a 6 gear ratio, so the gears tends to have a little bit less wear on it. From what my experience, like the 8 gear ratios, the gears tend to, I don't know, they start grinding quicker, which doesn't sound good to me. The 6 gear ratios, they keep the nice smoothness to them. I need to get some like tape on this line so it stops moving around, but the bearings in the handle still pretty good. I haven't oiled those since I got it. I have oiled the little worm gear in here, and still a couple of the bearings on the spool. But for the most part, pretty good reel. Needs a clean, but it's a workhorse. Corrado Shimano K, or Shimano Corrado K. I said that backwards. It's a pretty good thing right here. This is Spiral Moss, if I said it right. He says, I fish for Atlantic bass in Ireland in the ocean. I use a Shimano Tranx 3000. Great for the salt. Yes, that is true. Those are good for that. I need to get one for my Swimbait rod and a couple other reels. But yeah, I've used the 200 before. I haven't used the 300. It's a little bit too big. I got relatively large hands, but I like the smaller reels personally with the bigger spools because I got big thumbs. But everyone has their own personality or their own personal preferences. So yeah, it's nice. I would love to fish for saltwater, but it's like a 5-hour drive for me or 4-hour drive. But definitely on the agenda to go catch some fish on the Oregon coast over here. But 300 is a wrench. It's a winch. I could see that. A lot of those fish are probably ripped through the ceiling of their house or something pretty quickly. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see here. I almost forgot this rod. This is a heavy, extra heavy for like punching and flipping grass mats, or not quite fishing a frog, but I fish a frog on it. It gets the job done. Okay. I've got a couple top waters I'll use on this, like some big top waters. Those are gonna be in a video for a challenge video. I mean, like they're big. They're like a whopper plopper buzzbait mix. I got like 2 whopper ploppers on it. It's a big bait. It's like a 2.5 ounce, 3 ounce bait, especially with the long trailer put in the back of it. We're gonna be taking that to a lake this year, and we're gonna be catching some big fish on it. I have a feeling, because that lake's got 10 pounders in it. So definitely on the agenda for this specific combo here. It's got 40-pound braid. Probably could upgrade it to 50 and be fine, but I like 40 just because sometimes I'll take this reel, put on a different rod, like a medium heavy. No, I don't think I usually put it on a medium. It's a little bit too light for that. Tried a whopper plopper for pike. No joy though. Oh, that's too bad. I would think a pike would eat it if it's like big enough. I don't know. I haven't really fished for pike because they're not really where I live. Definitely on the agenda though, because it sounds fun. Minus them being slimy. It should definitely, yeah. Maybe try to get like a little duck lure, like a little topwater duck lure. Walk it back and forth, kind of like a walking bait. They might like that because it's duck. I think they make duck whopper ploppers too. They got 2 props on the back. Those would be pretty cool. Have a pike come up and eat it, or even a bass, in my opinion, or in my book. But yeah, got a Shimano SLX, is it 70 DC. This is the Japan version of the 150 DC for the America side of things where I live. But yeah, nice little reel. It's a 70 size spool, so it's pretty small. It doesn't have cheap graphite filling side plates. They're actually hard. so it doesn't feel cheap in the hand. It's got a nice aluminum frame, so you kind of set the hook pretty hard with this. That's why it's on a punching rod. And it's cheap reel, so that's why it's on a punching rod, because, you know, the punching and flipping, or even just using topwater stuff, throwing heavy baits can be kind of wear and tear on stuff like this. This isn't an extra fast, this is an 8-gear ratio, which, you know, more for like topwater frogs, because it's faster, you can reel them in fast and bomb them out there. It's my only 8-gear ratio, probably the only one I'll ever buy. I prefer like 7s, preferably 6s, but you know, 7s are pretty good too. But yeah, it's got pretty small little cranking handles on this, so just fine. It is a right hand retrieve, which for top waters or anything where I'm twitching like a jerkbait, I have to have a left hand retrieve, just because of the way my arm is. This arm is like perfect. I can have my hand flat out. This arm, my elbow has to twist really far in order to have it palm up, because it's got a weird twisted bone or something. But you know, I can get away with throwing a top water or something on this arm. It's just the jigging motion, like doing it up like this is fine, but when I go down to jig it, it's just really weird. This one feels much more natural on the right hand. See, what did you say, Spine Moss? You could be doing a lot worse than fishing. I've been fishing since 1985. That's a long time to be fishing. And yeah, a lot of my friends do terrible stuff, and I don't want to follow them. I'd rather stick fishing, you know. Nice, chill, relax. It's amazing. Get away from the crowds. It's nice. But yeah, the rod is a Temple Fork or Temple Outfitters. Temple Fork Outfitters. I was sort of there. Yeah, Tactical Elite Bass. I don't know. It was just what I needed, and it was on sale in Taco Warehouse for like $100, so I bought it. And it's been pretty useful so far. I didn't use it much in my videos this last year, 2024. I used it a little bit, but it's definitely going to be coming into play in this year, because I intend to fish more in a lot more places and new places. So this is going to be coming in play in a lot of the videos, probably, as many of these combos are as well, just because I'm going to be fishing a lot of different variety of baits and for a lot of different variety of fish and different sizes of fish, because I know I like catching smaller bass, larger bass. I'll catch anything. It's fun. I enjoy it. Nothing is more fun than just fishing in general. So, let's see what's next. I think we got the medium combos next. Oh, I got more combos, but these are like the ones I'm going to be using the most, I think, besides this one. The reel I'll be using a lot. The rod I will not be using, probably. It's just on here for demonstration purposes. Spiral says, you guys are ahead of the rest of the world with baitcasters, although it's taking off in Europe now. Yeah. I think Japan's probably the biggest lead in the baitcaster industry. But, I mean, yeah, I like them. They're more accurate than spinning rods, in my opinion, because you can control the spool, and they get backlashes, but the line's like straight. It doesn't curl around like spinning rods, because it doesn't have the line twist in it, which is why I like baitcasters. And even if they get a backlash, you can usually get it out pretty quickly. I mean, the only reason you tend to get a backlash is because you didn't feather it with your thumb properly, which that happens sometimes because, you know, you don't expect to hit a tree or your friend's face or the side of a boat or the water too soon. So you just kind of have to be ready to put your thumb down on it quick. So, and the thing with braid is it tends to knot really easily, but backlashes, it gets out really quickly. But if it does not, you usually can't save it. On the other hand, with like fluoro, mono, if you get in a backlash, it's gonna knot and tangle either way, and it's gonna take a little while to take out. I mean, you can be like, you can speed run pulling out the line from a baitcaster, but it would still take maybe a minute. I mean, it depends how bad it is. If it's not very bad, then it might be a little bit there. What do you think about Abu Garcia? Are great. Okay, in my opinion, Abu Garcias are amazing. Hold on, this is someone else said something. Spiral says, it's like fishing all over again. I'm using them 2 years now, and it's fun. If I'm not catching, I enjoy the casting. Exactly, the casting is fun. And then I enjoy hook setting with them, just because, you know, instead of like going up or to the side, like backwards, you just kind of swing. Which, I mean, you can do with spinning rods, but, you know, the reel's on the top of the rod, not on the bottom, you know? So it's a little bit different feel, and it's kind of a cool feel. But yeah, I like them. And then Abu Garcias, I like them because, you know, they cast good. The majority of them, I don't know about the newer ones, but the older ones, a lot of them were graphite, so they tended to break over time, which, you know, lose do as well. But Abu Garcia was had a little bit more of a, what do you call it? More expensive stuff, I guess you could say. A lot of the lose reels I tend to get for pretty cheap, occasionally here and there. But what's my favorite brand for rod and line? My favorite brand for rods, that's a tough one. There's so many good options. But I'd probably have to go with maybe Dobbins. And then line, I tend to use Seaguard, Power Pro. I'll use Ozuri sometimes, just because it's cheap. And, you know, I need some cheap stuff here and there. Have you ever used G-Lumen? I have, actually. My friend has some rods I've used before, and they're nice. They're just expensive, but they are nice. But, you know, I kind of can't afford that expensiveness for a rod. I tend to go a little bit cheaper on the rods. Like, only spend, like, below 200, sometimes even below 100. The reels, I've only spent over 200 on a few of them. I wouldn't go much more than that, personally, because, you know, nothing lasts forever. It's going to break eventually. I just prefer to spend my money on something that's going to last a while, because, you know, Shimano's reels have been known to last a long time, and I can testify to that. They last a long time. They do not like to die. But Abu Garcia can be pretty good, too. Same with Luz. But anything that's made out of graphite is going to take longer, or is going to break a lot quicker. Spiral says, been using Abu 6500 CT Equus pin and Daiwa multipliers for long distance and pendulum casting, beach fishing years, so I took to the Baitcaster easily enough. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of words in there I'm not used to because I don't fish on the coast. I don't know if that's like multipliers, like Daiwa multipliers. I don't know what those are. Are they like the ones that have like the counter on the reel or something? That seems like it. And then pendulum, I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. Casting beach. Probably a pretty big reel, I'd imagine. I mean, a 6,500 it's a pretty big reel if that's a spinning reel, which I'm guessing it is. It's a pretty big reel. I think I only have like a 4,000. That's the biggest size I have, which, you know, salmon's chill. Oh, excuse me, which I haven't really used much yet. So yeah, multipliers have no line lay. You do it manually. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any of the counters on any of my reels just because I don't troll that much. Mainly because I'm at a boat. I've had a kayak, but yeah. But I might do a little bit of trolling this year since I have a boat this year. I just got to finish sealing it up because it's got a bunch of rivets that are leaking that I got to completely redo, put a new seam in, and then re-rivet it. So it's going to be fun. Got to wait till it gets around 60 degrees during the day, which right now it's only like 40, which is kind of chilly, but, you know, it's fine. It's not that cold. There's a little bit of snow on the ground, but yeah, it's fine. Gets the job done. You survive. You live through life. But anyways, the rod, I'm not going to talk about it much. It's just a rod I decided to buy a test out. I mean, it's all right for the price. I wouldn't buy it, but if it was cheaper, you know, it's a pretty good rod blank. It's fine. A little Guggen Squad thing. But I don't tend to like to use them on camera just because I don't want to be associated with them for personal reasons. Yeah, Shimano Scorpion. This is a 7-gear ratio. It's got the micro module gear as most of the Shimano Baitcasters do now. It's got, you know, a nice drag star here. Tension knob. It's got the internal brakes. It's got the DC in it, so it makes a nice zing when you cast it. But, you know, it's got a smaller handle because I got this from Japan because it was cheaper than one in the United States. I don't know why, but it's got a pretty small thing right here. It's nearly 1 a.m. here. I better go get some sleep. Best of luck with your fishing. Well, thank you for dropping in. I hope you have a good morning's rest of sleep. And take care. See you later. All right. We'll move on to the last rod. This is another Shimano Intenza. Great little rod. For the price, I wouldn't really pay or buy them for the, you know, like the stock price, like $150. For me, it's a little bit too expensive for how this rod feels and goes. I mean, it's not terrible, but for the price, it's a little bit too high. But if you get it on sale for maybe like $100 or even $74, like I did, it's a pretty good deal. So, you know, this is a medium. I think it's a moderate fast, or no, it's just a fast. You know, I usually throw lighter stuff on here. I don't throw jerk baits on a specific combo, but I can. It's fine. It's a medium. I usually throw little mini maxes. This is a 3/8. I prefer a 1 ounce mini max, but you know, this thing's fine. This sinks. It's got pretty much no drag on it, so it sinks faster than the 1/4 ounce. It's got a nice chatterbait on there. Nice blade. The blade has actually been bent because I've caught too many fish on it. I caught some rare Gila trout in Arizona on this because for some reason they were wanting to eat it, even though it's pretty big in profile, and they still ate it. And then I caught some smallmouth up there on it too. And then I've caught some largemouth here in Oregon this year, and it's shown it. The skirt's all falling apart. It's coming out. It's a little beat up on the head there. It's a good little bait. I recommend the Z-Man Mini Maxes. They're a little bit of expense, but they work, especially on a pressured fish. They work pretty good. Then for the reel, we have a Shimano Titanium DC. This is the 2015 version. I like it a lot better than the 2024 version of this reel, just because of the way it looks. It just looks like they copy and pasted the old reel, which, I mean, they kind of did this too for like the Titanium MGL, like the older version, but it's a little bit different than this. You know, they used to have a little bit more variety. The newer reels they're coming out with just seem to be a bit boring to me. You know, I like something that looks cool. I mean, you're not really looking at it when you're fishing, but you have to edit or at least I have to edit the video, so, and that's usually what I see is the reel, so I gotta have something cool to look at. I mean, it looks like a futuristic spaceship or something, just the way it's shaped in the front. Low profile baitcaster. I mean, it's pretty big for low profile, but, you know, it's fine. Probably because of the DC, but, you know, it's nice. It's got the smaller handle because this is the 7-gear ratio. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the XG is the one that has, you know, like the orangish, yellowish copper tension knob, and then has a longer handle, which, you know, I would prefer the longer handle because I got bigger hands, but the smaller handles are fine. They got a nice little ridges in them for grips, pretty good. They got a pretty interesting bearing design, but it makes them wider in the front, which, you know, I like that. Nice gripping, you know, because they tend to get pretty wet, so when you're fishing, they tend to grip pretty good. So, and I got this really used. I wouldn't pay $500 for it brand new, but $200, $250 used, it's not bad. I mean, they got plenty of life left in them as long as you buy the right thing that looks good, has good reviews. Pretty good. The DC thing is a little bit quieter. It still works. It's gonna last me for a while. I've had it for 2 years since I bought it, and it's basically looks the same as when I bought it. Maybe a couple more scratches on it just because I'm pretty hard in my gear. But it works. It's gonna last me for probably another, well, if I say something, I'm probably gonna jinx myself. I'll probably break this year, but hopefully it'll last me for another 10 plus years. So that's the main thing. That's pretty much all of them. I mean, I do have some fly rods I didn't bring out here because they're long, and they're only going to pull them out of storage. And then I got a couple more spinning rods. I usually get my friends when they go with me because, you know, they don't know quite what they're doing yet. And they probably never will because they're not into it as much as I am. But I don't have any. I have like 1 or 2 friends that actually like are good with fishing, know what they're doing. But, you know, that's fine. I need to find some new friends. Or not new friends. I'm not replacing the old friends. I'm keeping the old friends. I just need to, what do you call it? Find some new friends, branch out. But I tend to be I like to be alone sometimes, so I tend to be pretty quiet. I like no notifications on my phone. I don't like notifications, so too many notifications and it just gets a little bit too annoying for me because I don't like my phone going off every 5 minutes because someone's texting me. So, but yeah, anyways, that's the majority of the rods. I have them just laying on the ground right now. It's pretty clean out here. I mean, it's outside, so, and they're supposed to be outside, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, this thing's kind of crooked. I just realized that this whole thing's been crooked this entire time. Oh well. Anyways, yeah. I think the fly rods, I have one that's like a 5.6 weight. So I think that's what most people call like the all-around and useless rod, because it's, you can use it for anything, but it's kind of useless in a lot of situations. But you know, it was cheap. I got it on sale, so it's good. And then I have another one that has a 0 on it before weight, but I don't think it's a 0. I don't even know if a 0 weight's a thing. It's kind of an older rod, but I tend to use it for more smaller creeks for fly fishing. But it has I think I'll just tell you it's a 1 weight. It's really flimsy, 9 foot. But you know, it gets the job done for smaller creeks. I enjoy using it with smaller creeks. And then the 6.5 weight I'll use for like the big trout we have in the lakes around here, like 5-6 pound to 13-14 pound trout. They usually stretch that thing out pretty good. And then I'll use it for, you know, smaller trout in ponds, lakes, wherever, and bigger rivers. But smaller creeks, the little 1 weight old rod I have, it works just fine. But then, you know, for bass fishing or trout fishing, like spinning rods, I prefer like a 2000 size spinning reel for trout. And then I want to get into the BFS bait casting systems for a trout as well. But as far as bass, you know, 2500 size, 3000 size spinning reels, or, you know, baitcasters, just, you know, you use any size for those, really. You can use the BFS, you can use the 150s, 70s. Each brand has its own way of discussing like the spool size or the cranking size, but they all pretty much use like the gear ratios. Like, you know, you got the 5s. I think there's even some 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s. 8's a little bit too fast for me, but I will use them occasionally for like topwater frogs, stuff like that. 7s I usually use for like chatterbaits or reaction baits. 6s I'll use for reaction baits too, or even like soft plastics, or even just Texas rigs. I prefer the slow gear ratios, in my opinion. The gears tend to stay smoother longer, and they tend to hold up pretty good. I don't know why. Maybe because the gears or something, there's less gears in it, I don't know. It's a little bit quieter, who knows? I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but I ain't gonna go and figure out what that reason was, or is. I need to talk properly here. It's getting cold, my throat's dry, I need to get a drink of water. Been talking for a while. But yeah, sun's starting to go down too pretty quickly, so I'm probably getting in the live stream here in a little bit. So, but yeah, definitely gonna be doing another live stream this Sunday. I'm gonna be outside doing some fishing. Might have the phone like facing like on my chest with a GoPro mount, so you can actually see me fishing. I don't know, might drop it in the water though if I do that, but definitely going fishing for some multi-species. Probably do some bass fishing too, since the bass have been getting pretty active here in Oregon. So, in certain spots, not on every spot. A lot of spots are still iced over, but a few spots, you know, like some rivers and some creeks, you know, they're getting pretty active, especially where they're like fed by springs. The water stays around 60, 65 year round. Well, in the summer it gets warmer, but in the summer, or not the summer, the winter, it stays pretty warm. So the fish tend to be pretty active. So definitely gonna be putting some of these combos to use on Sunday. I'm definitely gonna be doing more live streams, so stay tuned. Got a couple more videos I gotta upload before I'm out of content, and then I need to do some ice fishing and go some places and get some more content. I have a lot of video ideas and challenges and just simple fishing that I want to do this year and explore, go to a lot of new places. Definitely something that is going to be on the agenda. Don't want to give away too much details because then I'll spoil it, but there's definitely going to be a lot of coming to this channel this year, hopefully, as long as everything stays, you know, somewhat decent. I definitely need to get more sleep. I'm tired. I need to get my sleep schedule fixed. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the little live stream. I'll probably do a long form video or a short form video just so people don't have to watch the hour-long live stream to go through the stuff. I talked about all the gear like twice over, so it wasn't like 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long. But yeah, I will be live definitely Sunday. I don't know when I'm uploading the next video. Maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. But yeah, February, I don't know there's much fishing going on because ice is probably gonna, I mean, the beginning of February will probably be pretty good, but more towards the end of February, the ice might be getting a little unsafe for ice fishing. I mean, right now I got like 6 inches, I think, at Lake at the Woods, Oregon. Diamond Lake, last I heard there was like 10, so I don't know if there still is. It's been pretty cold tonight still though. And then, you know, some rivers and creeks, open water fishing is open, so. And then I have to drive like 2 hours away to go to any spot where I can catch trout in a river. I could catch them in a lake, but I don't really want to catch them in a lake. They get a little bit boring. They fight harder if you catch them in the creeks and the rivers. So anyways, I will see you guys next live stream, which will definitely be Sunday. So without further ado, I will see you there. Goodbye. Thank